this was a really stunning paper that came out in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2002. This is a paper you should know. May I be so bold as to suggest that you all get a copy. Sorry. And read it, because what it said is that when people have more omega-3 fats in their blood, they have a dramatically reduced risk to heart attack and cardiovascular disease. Dramatically reduced. The vitamin E trials have been a failure in terms of heart disease. Vitamin E does not prevent heart disease. It's still a great nutrient. Protects your brain, good for your immune system, prevents cancer, probably, according to the Iowa Women's Health Study. So we like vitamin E, but it doesn't prevent heart disease. Omega-3s? There's no question. We shouldn't wait until somebody gets a disease. We should actually, go with me on this, prevent. What do you think? Prevent disease? Kind of crazy. I think we could do it. So fish oils lower triglycerides, which are a risk factor to type 2 diabetes and heart disease. They do it by helping that energy powerhouse in the cell known as the mitochondria. The mitochondria burns 90% of the energy in the body. And guess what helps it burn more fat? Omega-3s. I've already told you that. Here's an amazing study. You know about those drugs called statins that lower cholesterol? One of the other things that statins do is they stabilize plaque. So people say, well, they stabilize plaque, they lower cholesterol, they're good for you. And, we could talk about statins. But they have side effects. Statins have side effects. They lower CoQ10 levels. And we like to do things first with nutrients. Well, what does it turn out from the journal The Lancet that omega-3s do? They stabilize plaque. That's fabulous. Because plaque is very hard to reverse. Plaque is kind of like a grudge that your body holds against you for everything you ate your whole life. It doesn't want to give it up that easily. And by age 45, the average American male has 50% blockage in key arteries with plaque. And the way that you have a stroke or pulmonary embolism or heart attack is you have the narrowing of the artery, and you can go to 50%, not a problem. But you get to 80%, now you're in trouble. And then you have a little clot come through, blocks it off. Now you really have a problem. You have a heart attack. You have a stroke. What is that clot? Sometimes that's a piece of plaque breaking off. It's like global warming, iceberg coming at you, right? Clogs that narrowing. Well, here we have omega-3 stabilizing plaque. If we just had all the research on omega-3s from up to 1980 and stopped, we would have enough reason to get excited, but it keeps coming out. So you can read all the interesting findings of that study. I'm not going to stand here and read my slides, the big no-no of how to do a presentation. Read your slides word for word. That's when you know you're at a bad talk. Sorry. Well, look at all the various things that cause heart disease. Heart disease is not just caused by cholesterol. It's caused by these, 8 factors we have up there. Blood lipids, blood pressure, thrombotic tendency. That means the tendency of clots to form. Insulin resistance, oxidation, whether things are going rancid in your body, homocysteine, inflammation, and ventricular irritability and arrhythmia. Do you know that 6 out of 8 of these omega-3s help? Omega-3s don't affect homocysteine, and oxidation is kind of complicated, but every single other one of these, they benefit. If omega-3s were a drug, they'd be the #1 heart drug, but they're not patentable. Omega-3s for pregnancy. How many of you have worked with women who have had a pregnancy while taking, ideally, Nordic Naturals products and had, well, there's no other way to say it, a genius baby result? Anyone see that happen? I'm exaggerating with the whole genius thing, but it's like the kids are talking at 18 months, going when are the Seinfeld reruns on, where the Kafka flashcards. It's kind of scary, actually, because when there's a family that I get to know, and then I get the woman when she's expecting on omega-3s, the new kid is noticeably smarter than the other kids, which is like, wow, we really do have a kind of a nutritional Frankenstein power to be used for good or bad. What's going on with the kids? They've got visual problems and they've got behavioral problems. What do we know about the retina and the brain? Desperately need omega-3s in the womb. What's up with the kids, all the 5-year-old kids with glasses? When I was a kid, maybe, childhood, optometry wasn't well developed. I don't know. But there weren't kids with glasses when I was, 5, 6, 7. Maybe one. There was that one kid with the glasses. Right now, it's more than that. And there was the fat kid when I was a kid. Now there's the thin kid, right? That's another story. So DHA is the 22-carbon structural fat you need in your brain, your retina, the nervous system. It's very hard to make. It's very hard to make. How much should a pregnant woman get? 100, 500 milligrams? I'm sure you are, and Michelle have their own numbers. 100 to 500 milligrams of DHA per day, plus some EPA, is a good thing. Even if it's only a few times per week, get it in there. Get it in there. The baby needs it. It's essential. It's got to happen. And America is really much slower than other countries around the world waking up to this. By the way, there are formulas out there that have DHA in the powder form. They have like a kind of a scoop thing that the expecting mother is supposed to take, and the DHA is supposed to be in there. Let me tell you about DHA in powder. It lasts about 5 minutes, then it goes bad. We wanted to send some to the lab that was a formula to see whether there's DHA in it. You can't test for it. There's no, that I know of. Maybe you and Michelle know. So what I'm saying is that the soft gel. God created the soft gel so we could put omega-3s in it, okay? That's why it was created. Powdered version of omega-3s, I don't believe in that. You already have any thoughts on that? Do you agree or disagree?
I read 3 studies that show that they didn't make a difference as far as in content in breast milk.
Oh, the powdered versions.
In the tissue of the
right.
child. There's a lot of controversy.
Because it goes bad. It goes bad very quickly. It's like feeding people rancid butter and then seeing if there's butter in their system. So DHA probably helps kids see better, probably helps their cognitive function. We don't have definitive research as far as I'm concerned, but we know that it's there structurally. Why wait? Well, we'll get that definitive research in the year 2500. I don't want to wait for that. We know it's an essential. We're not talking about echinacea during pregnancy. This is very different to talk about an essential nutrient versus an herb. I love herbs, but, we don't have DHA, we get into trouble. The other nice thing about omega-3 fats is they calm the immune system down. And one of the strangest things the immune system does is that it attacks your own body in something known as autoimmune disease. One of those autoimmune diseases is known as type 1 diabetes. And when pregnant women took cod liver oil, the incidence of type 1 diabetes in the child was much lower. And that is a staggering finding. Because the omega-3s, who knows, maybe it was some vitamin D or vitamin A in the cod liver oil, but probably the omega-3s calm the immune system down. And let me tell you, in my practice, when somebody has an autoimmune disease, we reach for the cod liver oil. We reach for the Arctic cod liver oil or some of the soft gels. Calms the immune system down. Doesn't cure the disease, but it just makes sense because it helps the immune system gain control of itself. And again, I've said DHA is difficult to make in the body. For every 100 molecules of alpha-linolenic acid, that's in flaxseed oil, that's the vegetable omega-3, for every 100 milligrams of alpha-linolenic acid, by the time you get to DHA, you'll only make 1 milligram of DHA. It's a 100 to 1 cost to get that far. It's kind of like making it to the South Pole. You have 100 people that land on the shore. Only one guy makes it to the South Pole. Really hard to make DHA. So we should take DHA preformed. And I really have an argument. Do we have any strict vegetarians in the room? Vegans? Macrobiotic folks? Okay, those people really need omega-3 fats. And they might say, oh, the capsule's gelatin. Well, you've got your liquid cod liver oil. These are people that need omega-3 fats. They've got to get them.